Mesdames et messieurs, donc c'est un grand plaisir de vous avoir en aussi grand nombre ce soir pour cette présentation, en fait cette première présentation depuis 2018, une présentation en personne, ce qui fait grand bien de se retrouver. Auparavant, les dernières années, ce fut des présentations virtuelles pour les différents intronisés, mais il n'y a rien comme se voir en personne et pouvoir se rencontrer, partager de nombreux souvenirs, comme vous l'avez si bien fait pendant le cocktail. Et maintenant de passer donc à de belles rencontres et à de belles introductions. Tonight we have a lot of very special guests, but for my part here on the stage, I do have a very special guest, which is my co-host. So this year we'll have the privilege to have Monsieur Simon Gascon, who will hosting this event with me.
Thank you so very much, Jean-Luc. It's a pleasure to be with you here on stage tonight. And my God, what a beautiful event. And thank you to everybody and the hotel staff and everyone for organizing such a beautiful room with such amazing people around us. Ça me fait vraiment plaisir d'être avec vous ce soir en ta compagnie, Jean-Luc. Et mesdames et messieurs, on vous souhaite un fabuleux gala.
Nous allons vous présenter des invités bien spéciaux. Évidemment, nous allons aussi faire des présentations dans la salle parce qu'il y a les intronisés qui vont apparaître aux écrans, mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont impliqués depuis fort longtemps dans le milieu du ski canadien. Au cours de la soirée, nous allons en faire la nomenclature. Mais d'abord et avant tout, il y a ces intronisés bien spéciaux dont on va vous donner un premier avant-goût sur les écrans avant de passer à une autre étape.
Donc, ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting this event. You will see a lot of amazing people being called up. There are also many people that we would like to recognize in the room for being involved in the ski sports, and we will start naming them as we go.
Sarah Burke, athlète en ski acrobatique.
Devin Kershaw, athlète nordique.
Oli Blufgen, bâtisseur, builder.
Dave Dyer, bâtisseur.
Douglas Wilson, bâtisseur, builder.
Roger McCarthy, builder.
Joey Lavigne, coach en ski alpin.
Jack Sasville, coach nordique.
Conrad Gay, entraîneur, coach ski alpin.
Alain Masson, coach nordique. Tonight, we will also be presenting a very important honor and prize, the John Semmelink Athlete of the Year Awards, on behalf of the Canadian Snow Sports Association.
Le trophée John Semmelink est remis à l'athlète qui a, de manière exceptionnelle, représenté le pays, pas simplement avec ses résultats, mais aussi par son comportement, sa personne. Il fait une excellente représentation de nous tous. Et tout de suite, j'aimerais vous présenter le président du Conseil du Musée canadien du ski.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the board of the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame and Museum, Eric Austin. We need some.
Everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'll stop yelling. Bonsoir. I'd like to take a moment to congratulate the eight of the 10 inductees honored this evening and welcome them to the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame. The Canadian Ski Hall of Fame is dedicated to the recognition of incredible individuals who have reached the pinnacle of success and have greatly contributed to the advancement of skiing and snowboarding in Canada. Depuis la création en 1982, plus que 190 membres honorés ont été intronisés au temple de la renommée de ski canadienne. Leur passion et leur dévouement continuera à inspirer les générations présentes et futures. Thank you, merci. Bonne soirée et enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, M. Austin. Et pour continuer au niveau des discours de présentation, la directrice exécutive du Musée canadien du ski.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had the pleasure of meeting her and working with her for the past few weeks. The executive director of the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame and Museum, Joanne. Hell.
Bonsoir, mes amis, skiers. We actually say thank you at the end of the event, but tonight this amazing individual deserves to be recognized at the beginning. It is my great privilege tonight to recognize our Director of Events, our board member, a skier colleague, and my good friend, Jane Chisholm. Jane and I met when I joined the organization in 2014. As it relates to these fantastic Hall of Fame events, I've had the great pleasure to collaborate with Jane starting in 2018 when we relaunched the Hall of Fame event hosted in Banff, Alberta, after a 10-year pause. Like this evening, the 2018 event was held just prior to the World Cup in Lake Louise. However, the exception this time is that the World Cup race, Ladies Giant Slalom, will be held in Mont-Tremblant this coming December. And similarly, this evening is full of ski positivity. Following the induction of the class of 2018, we planned the class of 2019 event to be held in Collingwood, Ontario. But like many of you, we had to pivot and transform as a result of the pandemic. And this is exactly what Jane did. The classes of 2019, 2020, and 2022 were online virtual events, which were greatly attended and evolved year over year. Allow me a moment for a big shout out to our Emmy Award producer, Israel Bonneke of Indie Films and his team, who's been supporting the production of these events since our relaunch. Look for Israel in the room tonight because he's helping us run the show. Jane is a passionate skier, level 3 instructor with a deep history of knowledge of our sports in and outside of Canada. Her leadership on the Hall of Fame events, Legends Classic ski races, which are held annually at Mont-Tremblant, and many national alumni events, takes an incredible amount of planning, attention to detail, and thoughtfulness. Her passion shines and transcends through the storytelling of each inductee. If you know Jane, she thinks of everything, sweats the details, continually thinks of new and creative ideas, and she is tenacious. No matter what the issue, hurdle, or bump, we always pull through in the end. We as a board and organization thank her annually, and she accepts our gratitude humbly. However, tonight we want to formally recognize Jane with a small token of appreciation and tremendous thank you. Jane, I speak for all of us tonight. It is a pleasure to collaborate with you as a team member and a colleague, but it is my great honor to call you my friend. Merci beaucoup, Jane. Jane, can you please come up?
I guess I'll have to say a few words, which I wasn't planning to do. Anyway, it warms my heart to see so many people that have come out tonight for this magnificent event. So many of the inductees, I've had 2 months of conversations with them, and to put a face to a name tonight has been wonderful for me. So it's great to receive the flowers in white, which I love. So I hope that you have a wonderful evening. And I'll take this opportunity, which I was going to only do at the end, to thank all our sponsors for this evening. We have the Mackenzie Group, which is right over here, Canadian Snow Sports Association, Sport Dynaco, I have to remember everything, and Minode Medical. Yes. And Carolyn Sharon's sons, right over here. So, and we also like to thank Russell Goodman, who couldn't be here tonight, and Phil Bilek. And I hope I haven't missed anybody. So please have a great evening, and it was wonderful to see so many of my friends here tonight as well. I hope I get to speak to all of you. Thank you.
Un honneur certainement bien mérité. Tu sais, Simon, quand Jane m'a appelé pour me demander si je voulais être maître de cérémonie ce soir, alors je vais te résumer ça très rapidement. Le téléphone a sonné. Elle a dit « Allô, Jean-Luc, c'est Jane. Veux-tu être maître de cérémonie? » Ta réponse, c'est oui.
She thinks of every detail. That's what they said. But Jean-Luc, I'm still floored. How did Joanne and Eric surprise Jane? She has thought of every single details. Amazing work. And we echo, of course, the words that were said about Jane. She's one special person.
Alors, la première partie est déjà terminée. Bon appétit à tous et on se retrouve à 8 heures, en fait à 20 heures dans quelques instants.
Enjoy the food, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Simon, pendant que nos invités reviennent progressivement à leur table respective, je vais prendre le micro qui est sur le petit lutrin ici, parce qu'on veut vous présenter des gens bien spéciaux qui ont accompli des choses extraordinaires il y a de ça fort longtemps et nous les avons tous réunis avec nous ce soir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start again this ceremony by starting with some very, very special people. Actually, they were pioneers. Those special guests that Jean-Luc is actually joining at the table, they were the first Canadian Women's Olympic team. The first ones. Not only were they the first one, and we will hear about them in a second, but I have a few details to tell you folks. J'ai quelques détails à vous donner sur ces gens. Ils étaient la première équipe canadienne olympique féminine. Elles étaient tous amies. They were all friends. And believe it or not, they were all bridesmaids at all of their own weddings. Can you believe that? So Jean-Luc, s'il vous plaît.
Alors, si vous voulez me regarder de ce côté-ci, vers le fond de la pièce, de ce côté-ci, vous me voyez peut-être. Alors, à mes côtés, j'ai le bébé du quatuor qui faisait partie de cette première Olympique canadienne. S'il vous plaît, veuillez accueillir Mme Lucille Wheeler. Madame Wheeler, how does it feel? I'm right behind you, right here. How does it feel to be with your teammate once again?
Oh, it's just a wonderful evening and a wonderful surprise because I didn't realize that the four of us would be here and that we're all this side of the ground too is just great.
Do you still ski?
Yes, I do, but slowly and surely.
Aussi à mes côtés, eh bien, ce n'est pas n'importe qui, Madame Rhoda Wortley Eves. Madame Eves, I know that it's not especially polite to ask the age of a lady, but let's say that you were skiing or You ski over a century and you still love skiing. Madame Eves, I have to ask you a question because I know you're a mom of few Daredevil. How does it feel to be a mom of crazy skier?
Well, I just have to make one statement. I think that Lucille Wheeler is the best representative we have ever had for skiing. Completely.
Madame Wortley, when was the last time that you did ski?
Pardon? Didn't get it.
5 years ago, it was the last time that you ski. I think it was in Mont Habitant. Huh? Is it correct? Wow. 5 years ago. We do have the two other of the Quatuor, Madame Rosemary Schutt-Ash. How does it feel to be with your partner skiers?
This is wonderful, being with the four of us back together again after all these years. It's tremendous, and what a wonderful evening with everybody here.
Was it true that you wore all the bridesmaids at different weddings?
Sort of.
Did you agree with the husbands of each other?
Well, I have to think about it.
And what do you think about seeing everybody here on this evening, all the other skiers?
It's fantastic. I love it, and I love seeing everybody and all these. I can't believe how many skiers are here.
And last but not least, Joanne Eason Rees. Madame Rees, what are your thoughts about the evening?
Hello. What a wonderful evening. Thank you all so very, very much.
So, this is your first women Olympic team from 1952.
La première équipe olympique féminine de 1952. Thank you so much, Jean-Luc. Merci beaucoup. And thank you all for being here with us tonight. C'est vraiment magique de vivre des grands moments comme ça. It's such a magical moment, and so proud to be with you tonight to live such a beautiful occasion.
Et on l'oublie souvent, Simon, mais l'histoire du ski au Canada est particulièrement riche. Et on pense souvent à l'histoire du hockey, mais l'histoire du ski, c'est naître de noblesse. Et à peu près tout ce qu'on connaît de ski en Amérique du Nord est parti d'ici, entre autres du Mont-Royal, et s'est propagé un peu partout. Donc une histoire très riche avec de très honorables membres que nous avons avec nous ce soir. Mais nous avons aussi d'autres invités à vous présenter.
Well, of course. So, you know, it was such a privilege to have the first women Olympic ski, but we also have other Olympians and national team members here with us in the room tonight. So, let me ask you this. Would you mind standing up if you were on a national team of former Olympians representing Canada as you were skiing? So, all Olympic athletes, national team members in any of the ski organizations, please stand up. S'il vous plaît, vous levez, tous les anciens membres des équipes nationales et des équipes olympiques.
Félicitations à tous. Et aussi, on voudrait souligner la présence de M. Stephen Finstone, le directeur et l'ancien dirigeant du Musée canadien du ski.
The absolute wonderful Stephen Finstone, director and past chairman of the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame and Museum.
Et également souligner la présence du directeur des finances et membre du comité exécutif, M. Jean Cloutier.
Jean Cloutier, Director of Finance and member of the Executive Committee.
Comme invités spéciaux aussi, nous avons M. Peter Judge, the CEO of the Canadian Freestyle Ski Association and a Director of the Board of the Canadian Snow Sports Association.
Monsieur Peter Judge.
Également, M. Stéphane Barrette, chef de la direction CEO de chez Nordic Canada, CEO of Nordic Canada. M. Barrette?
I really want to thank everybody for taking the time to come out tonight. I think it's extremely special what our skiing/snowboarding community is able to create in terms of family. The roots that we've just witnessed from 100 plus years old, not that you're Rhoda and Rhonda at that age yet, but what we're able to create through generational connection is amazing. And I think it speaks volumes to what our sport and multitude of sports creates is familial connection. So I want to thank all of you for being so invested and so passionate in what you're able to do by creating that connection and through that love of our collective sports.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Je voudrais remercier vraiment sincèrement le Temple de la renommée du ski canadien pour organiser des événements comme ça qui sont si importants pour célébrer la famille du ski, toutes disciplines confondues. On sait à quel point c'est pas toujours évident dans le monde en ce moment. Alors, de célébrer nos succès et l'impact qu'on peut avoir sur les athlètes, sur tout le monde qui est impliqué dans le ski, sur la société, c'est vraiment important de prendre ce moment-là pour dire que on fait quelque chose de bien ensemble. On est une famille et puis ça fait chaud au cœur de se retrouver tout le monde ensemble et de célébrer tous nos succès et beaucoup de succès encore à venir. Merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous.
Merci. Thank you very much. Merci.
Alors, mesdames et messieurs, c'est avec grand plaisir qu'on commence donc cette intronisation au Temple de la renommée du ski et nous commencerons avec Madame Sarah Burke.
Sarah Burke, athlete, freestyle, athlète, ski acrobatique. As a larger-than-life trailblazer, activist, entrepreneur, and philanthropist, Sarah Burke's accomplishments and accolades went way beyond her medals. Born into a skiing family in Barrie, Ontario, Sarah Jean Burke learned to ski at age 5. She qualified for the Ontario freestyle team at age 15 in the disciplines of moguls, mais sa véritable passion était la demi-lune. In 1997, she co-founded the National Halfpipe team. Sarah was the first woman to land a 720, 900, and 1020 three full turns in competition. She won the 2009 World Championships before taking gold in 4 Winter X Games. But that was just the beginning for Sarah. A long list of victories followed. En plus d'avoir été une championne émérite, Sarah était une militante passionnée. She fought to ensure that male and female X Games competitors got equal billing and prize money. She lobbied for women's slopestyle to be included as an official Olympic event. Elle a également entraîné et guidé la nouvelle génération de skieurs acrobatiques. Sarah always pushed her limits and never held back. On January 19, 2012, Sarah tragically succumbed to injuries sustained while training in Park City, Utah. her accident sparked a massive outpouring of grief beyond the closely knit snow sports community. In 2014, the Government of Ontario dedicated Highway 92 in her memory and named it the Sarah Burke Memorial Highway. Sarah will forever be recognized as one of Canada's greatest athletes and skiing icons of the 21st century.
We would like to call up upon Sarah's father, Monsieur Gord Burke, to come up to accept the award for Sarah. Super. Voilà. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you for all of this, and thanks to everybody that's worked so hard for months to organize it. It's been overwhelming to come here and be among so many friends. I really don't know what to say. It's been terrific. And when I do talk about Sarah in events like this, I sort of feel like I should say something about skiing or whatever, but yeah, she was an okay skier, there's no doubt about it, but where she really, really shone was as a human being. And I always have to keep coming back to that. It's something that overwhelmed me from the time she was 5 years old. I was learning from her patience and her kindness and her dedication to life and so on. And when I was landing here yesterday, I was sort of thinking about one of these other times I came to an event years ago at a bar in Montreal, and it was a big, huge thing happening, and some random guy came up to me and said, "You don't know me, but I just wanted to say I saw your daughter at an event in Whistler where there was thousands of people, and I didn't know her, but I said to my friend, 'That's Sarah Burke over there.'" And he started pointing, and he said, at that moment, she turned around and said, or she turned around from a distance and saw that he was pointing, and she smiled, and he said, "I never met her, but for years I've wondered, if I got that much out of a smile, what would it have ever been like to meet her?" And that's a memory that sticks with me, because I was a lucky dad that just got to travel the country with her and watch kindness at every moment and passion for other people. And sports does that. So, it's not that she just had that inherent, but it also came from the skiing and the friendship and all of the stuff that we all experience. So anyway, all I can say is, for my life, thank you to Sarah, and thanks to all of you for recognizing her and so on. So thanks for this.
Et maintenant, pour présenter notre deuxième intronisé, regardons le vidéo de Monsieur Devin Kershaw.
Devin Kershaw, athlete, cross-country, athlète, ski de fond. At the forefront of a golden era for cross-country ski racing in Canada, leading a group that would win and compete in the world's best. Along with his teammate Alex Harvey, Devin ranked as one of the most successful Canadian cross-country ski racers of all time. Après des débuts modestes à Sudbury, Devin a gravi les échelons pour atteindre l'élite du sport. À sa sortie du secondaire, il a refusé des bourses d'études en course de fond pour se concentrer sur ses aspirations de fondeur. As a young racer, he won 18 national junior medals. As a senior racer, Devin made the move west to train at the National Cross Country Training Facility in Canmore, Alberta. While there, he pursued his studies at the University of Calgary. Au cours de sa carrière, Devin a remporté 14 médailles en Coupe du Monde. En 2006, he was the first Canadian man to reach the international podium since Pierre Harvey in 1988. Devin represented Canada in 3 World Cup Junior Championships, 4 Olympic Games, and 7 World Cup Championships. Il a connu sa meilleure saison en 2011-2012, alors qu'il a terminé 2e au classement général de la Coupe du Monde. After retiring from competition, Devin moved to Norway with his wife Kristen, a 2-time Norwegian Olympic medalist. Devin is currently completing his studies in med school and looks forward to practicing as a sports medicine physician.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, Devin Kershaw. Mr. Kershaw. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And Devin, just before that you start, you missed the prior cocktail, but you receive a special petite épinglette made out of gold.
Merci beaucoup.
To support an extra little gift.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, thank you very much, everyone. There's quite a cross-country contingent in the house tonight, and I don't know who we had to bribe to have so many people inducted in one year, but thank you very much for the people that did that. No, I'm just kidding. And they have a gift for the gab, as do I, but I will keep this brief, which is not in my nature. I'm a little dumbfounded, I must admit. Perhaps it's my imposter syndrome kicking in here a little bit, although I do know that I was an athlete and I did compete for all those years, but seeing some of those photos, I have to admit, it's a little weird. It's like almost an out-of-body experience. Like, who is that person that was doing all that ski racing? But it was me. I won't bore you all with the oldest narrative ever written, The Hero's Journey, about a young guy who grew up in this scrappy Sudbury backwater, competing and training in some challenging conditions to make it to the international scene. And instead, although it's a theme that we've heard already this evening, and we will hear it again and again and again, but this idea of family. And that's really what this has meant to me. There's been so many people that have been instrumental in my journey. And first and foremost, my family, and my mom is here, and my brother as well, who's from Montreal, so that's pretty fun to share that with them. But the idea that through all levels of the journey, I wouldn't have been able to compete at the level I did without having so many great club teammates, so many great club coaches, all the volunteers, a lot of which gave their entire life to give athletes like myself the opportunity to compete at the highest level and to succeed if I could put together a good day. A lot of those people are in the room tonight with the Nordic Canada family and team, and it means the world to me. And then, of course, my teammates themselves. I mean, that's the other athletes that are in the room that have competed internationally. It's really hard to articulate what it means to travel the world with your best friends, and it's so unique in the sense that it is day in, day out. It is truly like a family. You are 24 hours with these people. And like your family, you don't always get to pick who you're around all the time. So you better get along if you all want to pull together and compete and perform at the level that you want. And I won't name them all, but there was just so many great, great teammates and coaches and support staff. I think it's for the alpine skiers in the room, the cross-country skiers in the room, freestyle skiers, everybody, jumpers. The support staff that are also behind us every step of the way. These are some of the toughest, most insanely dedicated people you'll ever meet. And yet, when you compete well, which in my instance is to put on some skinny skis, slap into my spandex suit, and just ski around in the woods, like far from a stadium, slobbering all over my face and come back, and then the toughest guy or woman you've ever met meets you at the finish line, bawling their eyes out as if you just gave birth to their first grandchild, and all you did was ski fast in the woods. I think it speaks to how powerful sport truly can be. And I'm so truly thankful and grateful, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
D'ailleurs, notez que Devin a fait le voyage expressément de Norvège, où il habite maintenant, où il étudie en médecine. Alors, merci beaucoup, Devin, d'avoir fait le détour.
It's pretty amazing. Insofar, all of the speeches, the word family keeps coming back. Family, we're a ski family. Talking about ski family, the third person that we're going to be honoring tonight, I've rebaptized her. Holy Holly Lufkin.
Holly Lufkin, builder, telemark, bâtisseur, télémarque. Telemark skiing dates back to the 1800s, with its conception by Norwegian ski jumper Sondre Norheim. But it was Holly Lufkin who gracefully spread the Tilly gospel in Canada. Holly a appris à skier toute seule sur un terrain de golf situé derrière la maison familiale à Toronto. Fast forward many years later, as a fearless cross-country and alpine skier, Holly discovered the incomparable elegance of telemark while backcountry skiing in Banff National Park. Smitten, she resumed her kinesiology studies at the University of Guelph when fate struck. While teaching downhill skiing, a student crashed into Holly and shredded her medial collateral ligament. Telemark skiing became key in her rehabilitation. Peu de temps après, Holly a eu une épiphanie qui a changé le cours de sa carrière. In the years that followed, Holly and Steve Kahn, a cross-country instructor, started Ski Telemark, a mobile snow school that offered an alternative to downhill skiing. Pendant 40 ans, Holly et Steve Kahn ont parcouru les stations de ski de l'Ontario et du Québec, offrant des programmes d'enseignement et transmettant aux skieurs leur passion du télémark. In 1984, Holly founded Telemark Ski Canada, which paved the path for Canadian skiers to race in international sanctioned telemark competitions. Holly competed in the World Championships with the Canadian team. She also served as FIS official and as the Can-Ski course conductor. In 2023, Holly was recognized as one of the 12 women who pioneered snow sports in Canada. Her lifelong dedication to promoting this niche sport remains unflappable. Son dévouement à la promotion de ce sport marginal demeure indéfectible.
Ladies and gentlemen, Holly Lufkin.
I don't know what to say. Just a minute. My name is Holly because I came home as a Christmas baby. I'm a Christmas flower. So merci. I have to, this is overwhelming for me. And the only expression that I can say to all of you in this room is, wow. I'm over the moon. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect to be inducted into the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame, let alone be one of the 12 women pioneers of snow sport in Canada. I love snow. I am profoundly honored, humbled, and in deepest gratitude to the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame, the Board of Directors, the Selection Committee, and to Jane Chisholm, Joanne Hales, Gordy Bowles, who have given timeless hours and effort to create this once-in-a-lifetime moment. So very, very special. My heartfelt thanks. Telemark, the oldest turn in the history of skiing. Originated in Norway by the sport's forefather Sondre Norheim. In the 1830s, he devised a boot-binding system to facilitate the elegant, versatile telemark turn. Telemark is the mastery of cross-country downhill. Offers total freedom on the snow, the ability to ski anywhere on one set of skis. I want all of you in this room to share accolades with me tonight for our Norwegian guest of honor, Ingen Rastad, as a tribute to Norway's remarkable gift of telemark skiing to Canada and our snow sport industry. Telemark has and continues to inspire with great passion generations of Canadians and imbues their love, like me, for being on snow. Ingen and I met and served our countries on the International Telemark Committee to achieve FIS status for the sport and lobby for telemark to become an Olympic winter sport. This engagement was a result of my partner, Steve Kahn, and I, who co-founded Telemark Ski Canada. Telemark, a discipline of Canada's Snow Sport Association today. I'd like to introduce you all to Michael André Danseroux, who is now one of Canada's top telemark athletes who raced FIS World Championship in Switzerland, came 15th, and in the classic event, and 14th finish in the World Cup FIS in Norway in the telemark sprint last year. For Steve and I, we have operated Ski Telemark with an extraordinary team of professional instructors. We express our special appreciation to Mark Kinoshita, also part of the National Telemark team as our captain and past president of Telemark Ski Canada. Mark? I would also like to thank, on behalf of our governing professional body, that's the Canadian Association of Ski Instructors, for the advancement of telemark instructor certification. I thank you to René-Luc Morin from Montreal. René-Luc? In closure, I address my soulmate, Steve Kahn. For you, I could not have accomplished all that we have achieved for the sport of telemark skiing for these past 40 years without you. And to our exceptional son, David, for sharing our great love in the life of ski telemark on the road. We are on the road 50 days every winter serving our clients. I finish within the true spirit of telemark. That lives bright and strong within the minds of hearts of those who share this induction celebration tonight. I reach out to all of those who have contributed so significantly to this sport's growth and development in Canada. The telemark lives in perpetuity because of all of you, our shared legacy. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Regardons ensemble le vidéo de notre prochain intronisé, M. Dave Dyer.
Dave Dyer, builder, cross-country. Bâtisseur, ski de fond. Already an accomplished Ironman triathlete, it was Dave Dyer's involvement in cross-country skiing that ultimately grew to become his life's work. En plus de 40 ans de carrière, his career spanned more than 40 years. Dave a travaillé au niveau communautaire, régional, national et international. Il a déployé ses talents dans le cadre de nombreuses fonctions, entraînement, gestion d'événements, promotion et marketing. Dave started his cross-country skiing involvement as an apprentice coach and then added the role of Jackrabbit coordinator for the National Capital Division. He gradually transitioned to the national program with Cross Country Canada. De multiples facettes moins connues du sport ont évolué et se sont développées à travers les efforts de Dave. Through the strength of his involvement at all organizational level across Canada, Dave gradually became the working face of cross-country skiing. En tant que responsable d'événements, Dave s'est épanoui dans le travail d'équipe. He had the skill set to foster a myriad of volunteers from coast to coast to coast. He also identified with athletes in pursuit of their podium dreams. In 2010, Dave joined the FIS Marketing Committee, where he navigated and negotiated TV rights and contracts for international event sponsorships. He was a key player in the efforts to bring World Cup skiing back to Canada, perhaps Dave's crowning achievement. Tout au long de sa brillante carrière, Dave s'est engagé sans compter dans un sport qu'il aimait tant. His motto, if you don't roll up your sleeves and get involved, you won't get the job done.
Mesdames et messieurs, accueillons Monsieur Dave Dyer.
So I started this morning and I asked my wife, do you think Jane would pull the plug and take my award away if I spoke too long? And she said, no, don't worry about it. So please bear with me. Thank you very much. To say I'm honored to be with you here tonight is an understatement. Congratulations to all those in the class of 2023, and especially those that I've had the fortune to work with on the Nordic side, including Jack Sassville, Devin Kershaw, and Alain Masson. I'd like to thank Jane and her team for organizing this induction ceremony, and I'd like to thank Al, who penned my nomination, and very special thanks to my friends who have joined us here tonight to celebrate the sport and the accomplishments over the years. Your attendance means the world to me. Thanks, guys. Finally, I'd like to thank my family. Patty and Alexander, you've provided the glue to keep the home front going when Dad was on the road plying his trade. This is a shared award. Thank you very much. I was fortunate to have worked through a period of excellence in cross-country skiing. The volunteers and staff weren't just colleagues, they were friends, and the athletes were champions. What a thrill to see Devin here tonight, and congratulations on your well-deserved induction. In 1984, I graduated from Jackrabbit coordinator and apprentice coach at the National Capital Division to the national office. Leading up to the '88 Olympics, I was surrounded by dedicated individuals, including Marty Hall, Tony Shire, Jack Sassville, and Malcolm Hunter. Many thanks to Marty, Tony, and Malcolm for your attending tonight. And Jack, I'm honored to be on the same slate as you are. Perhaps one of the unsung benefits of the lead up to Calgary '88 was the evolution of Cross Country Canada's officials development program. We were blessed and fortunate to have a strong core of officials who had a vision and the experience to put vision into practice. The Hall recognized the contribution of Al Maddox in 2022. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Al for his many years of service to the sport, your leadership, and guidance. You and the Thunder Bay crowd have been great promoters of the sport for years. I would also like to recognize Georgia Manhart, who have traveled from 100 Mile House, BC, to join us tonight. Georgia has championed the officials development program throughout BC before the Calgary Olympics and was central to the evolution of the Whistler Olympic Park as the Nordic venue for 2010 and more recently as the host venue for the 2023 Nordic World Championships. It was through her vision that landed the championships in Whistler this past season. Your attendance, Georgia, means the world to me. Thank you. My second term with CCC, shortly after the Salt Lake City Olympics, was the result of a short conversation I had with Tony, where I congratulated him on the results of the women's pursuit, and of course Becky Scott's phenomenal performance and gold medal. I'd watched the race on a small tabletop TV, the Canada Games Council office. Tony and I chatted, and I asked how the search for an events and marketing person was going for CCC. And he asked in return, why are you interested? I didn't realize at the time, but one thing led to another, and shortly thereafter I was having coffee with Bruce Jeffries at the local Tim Hortons. Bruce was a heck of a salesman. He was a CC volunteer ED, and his enthusiasm, passion, and knowledge for the sport was second to none. I remember going home after that meeting and saying to Patty, I think I'm going to go back to CCC if they'll have me. She said, you're going to do what? Having lived through 10 years of Dave Dyer on the road, she could only forecast what she was going to get into. Not the response I was expected, but it happened. Vancouver had been awarded the 2010 Olympics. CCC had a job to do. And we had the makings of a great team, both in Canmore with Tom Holland and Dave Wood, and at the helm, and in the Ottawa area with Bruce and Tony. At this stage of the game, I think it's important to recognize our national team athletes and the role they played in our successes over the years, both on the snow and the boardroom. Special recognition to Dave Wood, who is with us tonight, and a strong connection with Bob Disbrow of Haywood Securities. Bob was a fan of the women's team, and over time became an integral part of ensuring the financial capacity of the team. In many ways, the athletes were our best ambassadors the association could hope for. Domestically, the athletes were hands-on in helping to raise money and promote the sport. And on the international circuit, CCC couldn't have asked for better representatives. In the modern era, Haywood was the first to be impressed with the team, but they were not the last. I remember Al and I going to the FIS meetings in Miami in 2004. Our job one was to convince the cross-country committee to come back to Canada with the World Cup. Although the FIS staff were confident and Al could deliver, when we made our pitch to the World Cup cross-country committee, things got a little dicey. The members from Middle Europe were not totally sold on the idea of traveling to Canada in December, to race in Canmore and on unknown tracks at altitude, a place called Sovereign Lakes. We were against the wall, but tried to reinforce that the request was not coming from Cross Country Canada. The request was coming from Becky Scott and Sarah Renner. And in the end, the committee knew that coming to Canada was the right thing to do. The athletes on the Team Canada had earned the right to home track advantage, and we ended up on the World Cup calendar for 05-06. The ski results were as we had hoped, and as the Europeans had feared. 5 podiums for Becky, 2 for Sarah. In respect to hosting, the investment of time and energy of CC staff, myself included, pales by comparison to the amount of time volunteers and officials invested in these and many World Cups we've hosted since 2005. Chapeau to all involved. Post-Vancouver, we started to look at new World Cup opportunities in Eastern Canada. The community in Quebec City was keen, but as we all know, the financial considerations are a significant problem. FIS was enthusiastic as part races in Dusseldorf had been successful, and eventually a town-town promotional venue that included the Plains of Abraham and Grand Delay was tabled. The Canadian men's team had become the talk of the World Cup circuit, since Devon and Alex World Cup gold in the team sprint at the 2001 World Championships. In Canada, they became known as the Nordic Knights. And just in time, along came Gestev and Patrice Drouin, who recognized the need and saw the opportunity to combine their promotional expertise, their corporate contacts, and most importantly, the notoriety of the men's team in Quebec to fashion a downtown race. The race committee was made up of officials recruited from across Quebec and Eastern Canada, many of whom joined us tonight. Again, your attendance means the world to me and brings back memories of the many events we've shared over the years. The success of the first park race along Grand Delay in December 2012 led to the dream of a Canadian World Cup in 2016. When the Canadian Tour concept was first presented to FIS, the skeptics at World Cup Committee were again vocal. Logistics, quality of snow, and the credibility of park races were questioned. In the end, a plan was hatched that included park events in Gatineau, Montreal, and Quebec City, and the World Cup finals for Canmore. A new World Cup OC under the banner of ENG&E evolved in Gatineau under the leadership of Claude Laramie. Ski Tour Canada 2016 captured the imagination of the FIS community. Canmore successfully hosted the World Cup finals for the first time outside of Europe. And in the end, 2016 led to the hosting of World Cup finals in Quebec City for 2017 and 2019. This induction has given me pause to think about the many fantastic moments in our cross-country career. What strikes me is the number of people in our sport who have applied their expertise and commitment as officials, sponsors, coaches, staff, and athletes to make it better. Many thanks to you and your families. A marketing mantra that I followed from my early years is you have to give to get. Cross Country Canada didn't have a TV platform, but if a sponsor wanted to make a difference with an organization that had a plan, engaged athletes, strong regional events, and passionate volunteers, then Cross Country Canada could help. As Jackrabbit Johansson wrote to me in accepting NCD's invitation to join us at our first Jackrabbit Ski Day in 1983, and I quote, "Dave, I'm keenly interested in the very important work you are doing to develop our young children into enthusiastic cross-country skiers, and I shall do all I can to help with this task." At 106, Jackrabbit was still enthusiastically giving back. We had a full house that day. Jackrabbit stood at the finish line of the time trial and congratulated every last skier. Thank you again, the Hall, for this great honor, and to my ski friends at this year's ceremony.
Monsieur Dave Dyers.
Is that what he said? Roll up your sleeves. Get the job done. Our next inductee, le prochain intronisé. Posthume, Monsieur Douglas Wilson.
Douglas Wilson, builder, alpine, bâtisseur, alpin. Always a passionate adventurer, Douglas Wilson learned to ski as a teenager on Grouse Mountain, and at age 16, he joined the ski patrol. This would be the beginning of his lifetime involvement in skiing. In the mid-50s, he took a job with an international power tool company. Après une mutation à Toronto, il a découvert l'escarpement du Niagara et s'est joint à la patrouille de ski de Blue Mountain. He quickly moved up the ranks to lead patroller. Doug had the good fortune of combining his passion for skiing with his professional career. In the early 60s, Doug was transferred to Los Angeles, where he spent a winter season as a ski patroller at Mammoth Mountain. À son retour au Canada en 1966, il a été président de la patrouille canadienne de ski de l'Ontario pendant quelques années avant d'en devenir le directeur national. As a founding member of the Canadian Ski Council, one of Doug's crowning achievements was the creation of the Grade 4 and 5 Ski Pass. This highly successful program that introduced children to skiing continues to present day. While traveling in Europe, Doug met a fellow Canadian with whom he later formed a business partnership to import and distribute Fisher skis, marker bindings, and Humanic boots. FMH Canada would go on to sponsor the Crazy Canucks and the infamous ski jumper Eddie the Eagle. Doug s'est ensuite lancé en solo pour créer UTC, UVEX, Toco Canada. As an inspirational promoter of skiing for more than 60 years, Doug Wilson will be remembered for his unwavering devotion and significant contribution to the advancement of skiing in Canada.
I was watching her smile through the video. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Janet Wilson. Thank you. Of course.
Good evening, everyone. Doug would have been delighted and very humbled to be asked to join this illustrious group of Canadians. I'm very grateful to the nominating committee of the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame for considering him worthy of this honor. Doug often said, "I've never worked a day in my life." That's how lucky he felt to be involved in the snow sports industry. And the industry in our family benefited immensely from his enthusiasm. About 6 months after Doug passed, Denis Belanger called me and said, "I think you should nominate Doug to the Ski Hall of Fame." Denis, thank you for your recommendation and encouragement. Doug joins his good friend Réal, Denis' father, who many years ago designed a race hill for us at Beaver Valley Ski Club, Réal's Run. Doug was an ideas man and an inspirational leader. Founding executive director Judy Kilbourne and her successor Colin Shador at the Canadian Ski Council supported him brilliantly. I'm very grateful to them and also Louise Roberge, Greg Hilton, and Paul Pinchbeck for sending letters of recommendation and photographs to help document Doug's long involvement in the ski industry. Thank you, Jane, Gordy, and Joanne at the Canadian Ski Museum for your patience in guiding us through this process. And finally, I'd like to thank my children, Craig and Lisa, for their enthusiasm and support in creating a real and lasting memory of their dad. I'm thrilled, too, that 5 of our 7 grandchildren are here this evening. We love you and miss you, Papa. Thank you.
Alors, notre prochaine personne intronisée n'est pas présent parmi nous ce soir, mais nous avons quand même une vidéo à vous présenter. Et de ce que j'ai su, de sources sûres, ce vidéo a été fait. En fait, on aurait pu présenter finalement les bloopers aussi de ce vidéo parce que semble-t-il que ceux qui l'ont créé ont eu vraiment beaucoup de plaisir. Alors, regardons la vidéo de M. Roger McCarthy.
Roger McCarthy, builder, alpine, bâtisseur, alpin, well known and highly respected in the ski industry. Roger McCarthy made a significant impact as a leader in resort management and ski area development in Canada, the US, and Europe. Born and raised in Auckland, New Zealand, Roger learned to ski at age 7 on skis that were handcrafted by his father. In the years that followed, he became a passionate skier and at age 22, packed up and moved to Whistler, where he landed a job as a lift operator. He went on to excel within the Intra-West organization and in 1991, Roger a été choisi par Intra-West pour entreprendre les tâches de reconstruire sa nouvelle acquisition, le Mont-Tremblant. As a Kiwi arriving in Quebec with high school French, Roger rose to the occasion and quickly won the hearts of the locals and the respect of his co-workers. Under Roger's management, Mont-Tremblant became the #1 ski resort in Eastern North America. In 1998, Roger's responsibilities expanded to develop the Intra-West resorts in Eastern Canada, France, and Spain. He went on to hold executive positions with Vail Resorts and oversaw operations in Breckenridge, Beaver Creek, Keystone, and Heavenly Valley. In 2007, he took on a leading role in the development of Rosa Couture, the alpine venue for the 2014 Olympic Games in Sochi, Russia. Following a 50-year remarkable career, Roger has returned to his home base at Whistler, when it all began in 1972.
And I think we do have the video of Roger McCarthy. The actual video was made by you, Smythe, in person. So we look forward to see that.
Roger, your induction into the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame is extremely well-deserved. Congratulations, my friend. Here's your special gold pin from the Hall of Fame and your award. Congratulations.
Merci, c'est fabuleux. Thank you, Hugh. Bonsoir, mes amis. Good evening, everyone. This is a tremendous honor. Ça me donne le frisson. Goosebumps. Being inducted into the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame has such a great meaning to me. Coming to Canada to ski when I was just 22 and getting a job as a liftie at Whistler, I certainly never dreamed that I would be blessed to have the amazing and fulfilling career that I've enjoyed, or that I would be receiving such a huge honor all these years later. I'm incredibly proud to be joining a list of such well-known names, which reflects everything that makes skiing and the ski industry across Canada so unique. There's no better way to spend your days living and working in the mountains, giving guests a great experience, and working with people who share the same passion and enthusiasm. This recognition belongs as much to all the people I've worked alongside through my 50 years in the ski industry. So I want to thank all of them, as well as those who have nominated me, and a huge thank you to the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame for inducting me.
Un fier bâtisseur, Monsieur Roger McCarthy.
Excellent. Moving on to our next inductee. Dana, where are you? I swear, Dana, it did not occur to me that he was your father. Joey Levine.
Joey Levine, coach, alpine, entraîneur, alpin. As a lifetime coach, Joey Levine's expertise and leadership has impacted his athletes, coaches, and officials throughout his impressive coaching career. Born and raised in Ottawa, Joey's passion for skiing grew as he explored the local ski hills at Camp Fortune, where he harnessed his love for speed. He became a quality racer, making quick and successful strides all the way to the national team. À mesure que ses ambitions compétitives se sont atténuées, Joey s'est naturellement tourné vers l'entraînement. He moved through the ranks quickly, securing his first coaching position with the Alberta ski team. In 1978, he was hired by the Canadian National Alpine Ski Team to coach men's downhill. Among his charges were the Crazy Canucks, Ken Reid, Dave Murray, Dave Irwin, and Steve Podborski. Joey returned to his Ontario roots in the mid-1980s, where he took on positions as head coach and managing director of Alpine Ontario. He then rejoined the National Alpine Ski Team as Women's Program Director and Head Coach. Joey a vécu 18 ans à Mont-Tremblant, où il a élevé sa famille avec son épouse Catherine. Pendant 6 de ces merveilleuses années, il a entraîné des coureurs d'élite au club de ski Mont-Tremblant. Joey is currently the Program Director and Head Coach of the National Capital Outaouais region, a position he has held since 2011. His dedication and commitment to fostering young athletes has remained truly remarkable.
Mesdames et messieurs, Joey Levine.
Congrats.
Okay, before I start, this is for a good friend of mine. Back in 42, Johnny, top of the turn. Okay. First, just thank you very much for this honor, and congratulations to all my fellow inductees and their families. It was a difficult task to think of the hundreds of people that helped me to mold me both in my career and my personal journey. First, I would like to thank Tracy O'Brien and those that contributed to my nomination. Many warm and heartfelt letters that truly touched me. The entire NCO family that has supported me for the past 13 years, you truly are the best. Thank you. I'm thankful to all my past teammates over my brief career. You taught me what a team really is and the strength team support in an individual sport, what the strength of team support in an individual sport. Thank you for your perpetual bond that exists between all of us. This helped build a strong sense of community and value to what we do. To the coaches that taught me as an athlete, you gave me values that would stand the test of time. Sue Graves, Bruce Henry, Butch Boutry, all very different, all strong, rich in character. Thank you. To the coaches and administrators I have worked with that mentored, helped, and encouraged me, a big thank you. Some are Ed Champagne, Dee Reed, she was the first person to hire me. Gord Licorice, John Ritchie, Bruce Henry, Toulouse, Piot, Don Lyon, Kip Harrington, all the Tremblant friends, Jaco, Jeff, that gave me strength and support, and to the many coaches I've worked with, a very big thank you. We are family. To all the athletes I've had the pleasure of working with, I was kind of fortunate. I was lucky. I started at the top of the level. I got to learn from the best in the world at that time. Ken, Steve, Dave Irwin, Dave Murray, Todd Brooker, and what we affectionately called the backup downhill team. Learning how to coach at that level was an amazing experience. Thank you, my friends. It was great. To the provincial athletes, that I have worked with, a truly satisfying and rewarding experience. People like Kevin Goslin, John Mealy, Luke Sauter, Story Badger, to name a few. The number of athletes that I've actually worked with is pretty large, and each one equally is dear to my heart. The regional and club level truly epitomizes community and family. To all the volunteers, parents, coaches I have worked with, a very big thank you. The thing is, all these athletes would not be where or what they are without their parents and family. Getting to know and understand many of these parents helped me understand what passion is, what it takes to create a family, their love and passion, not only for their children, but for the journey they have chosen. I want to mention a few I think went above and beyond. People like Jimmy Haight from BC, Gord Licorice, Jeff Riley, Gord Badger, Brian Mealy. Now there is a man oozing with passion. The combination of all the people I've worked with contributed to me being me. Thank you to the current coaches, because I'm still working, that helped me, an old guy, staying meaningful. All the coaches of Ontario and Quebec that I get to stand on the hill with, your passion is awesome. A special thank you to a young man, Alex Lennox. His youthful wisdom, passion, and commitment to the athletes truly give me hope. Finally, a very big thank you to my family, my mom and dad, for starting this journey. To my brothers, Michael, Paul, and Jamie. They are always there for me and kept me grounded. To my children, Megan, Patrick, and Dana, who grew up with a father that was not always home. Somehow they still liked me. I love you guys. And a special thank you to my loving wife, Kate. She put up with this lifestyle. She became a big part of many of the teams I coached, providing meals, sage advice to young male ski racers with wandering eyes. Your support means everything. As we move closer to the end, there is much comfort in having so many dear friends, a truly large family. All of you, we are skiing. Thank you.
Pour notre prochain vidéo, regardons celui de M. Jack Sassville.
Jack Sassville, coach, cross-country, entraîneur, ski de fond. During a coaching career that spanned over 48 years, Jack Sassville's impact on the sport of cross-country skiing in Canada influenced generations of skiers. Jack's career began in Manitoba in 1975, first as an instructor, then as a club coach. It wasn't long before he joined the national team program, where he coached for 13 years. Sur le terrain, Jack a joué un rôle clé dans le développement du programme de ski Jack Rabbit alors qu'il travaillait pour l'Association de ski de fond du Manitoba. After a successful launch in 1977, the program was adopted by Cross Country Canada. It has been used as a national youth learn-to-ski program ever since. Jack trained athletes for all abilities with the goal of personal excellence. Being on his team meant that all members would be included and valued. When Jack started the developmental team at Hardwood Hills in Ontario, he demonstrated this philosophy by creating a welcoming atmosphere for everyone on the team. In addition to his coaching expertise, Jack was a Class A golf pro and a household name as a CBC color commentator alongside Olympic host Scott Russell. Pendant les Jeux de 2010 à Vancouver, Jack a su captiver les amateurs de ski de fond, de biathlon et de combiné nordique en tant qu'analyste pour le réseau CTV. Following a stellar career, Jack's legacy will remain etched as one of the most influential Canadian cross-country coaches of all times.
Mesdames et messieurs, Monsieur Jack Sassville.
Have you ever heard of imposter syndrome? Because that's what I feel like right now. Who was that guy? Those of you that know me over at that table know that if I make it through this without crying, it will be a miracle. So first of all, I want to say thank you to the people at that table, many of them who wrote letters in support of this nomination. I'm blessed and very humbled. I believe, like Joey did, that cross-country skiing, and skiing is a team sport. We compete as individuals, but without all the people around us, we could never, ever get to where we want to be. And as a coach, I believe that's the same for me too. So for me, this is dedicated to all the people that helped me get to be here. To Gord Konatz, who started me in 1975 in Manitoba as this young kid who didn't know anything. And he saw something in me as a coach and gave me my first job. And we helped to start the original Jackrabbit program. And just as a quick aside, Eric is here. His grandfather is Jackrabbit, and his mother helped us to get the name for Jackrabbits in cross-country skiing. So there's a long story. You can ask Eric about it. We talked about it today. In 1980, Cross Country Canada at the time took that name as the Junior Development Program, the Youth Development Program for cross-country skiing in Canada. So we're quite proud of that. To Heinz Niederhauser, who is in this hall but who has passed away, Heinz was the first person that saw something in me to be a national team coach. He brought me to Ottawa. He took me to an interview with Sport Canada. After I left the interview, he came down afterwards and he said, well, you know, they don't think you're good enough, but I talked them into it. So you're going to have to fake it till we make it. And so that's what we did. And so to Marty Hall, who's also here, another member of the Hall of Fame, who taught me what leadership was. I didn't realize what leadership could be until I worked with Marty or followed Marty, because he led me to places that I couldn't be. Tom Holland, who was the national ski team coordinator for a while, for quite a long time, he also he brought me back to coaching at Canmore Nordic. To Dave Dyer, again, I seem to be blessed with all these people who are in this hall. Dave recommended me to CBC to be an announcer, to work with as an analyst, and I was lucky enough to work with the best, and that's Scott Russell, and Scott taught me how to talk on the air and how not to talk on the air. For those of you that have been on the air, it's more about the spaces than it is the talking, and Scott certainly taught me how to do that. To Mike Badham, who helped me in the early years at Team Hardwood, to Ray Ryan, and to all of the parents. You know, those of us who are coaches, we coach athletes, we coach kids, but most of the time we're coaching parents. Really? So I spend half of my time coaching parents. And the athletes are easy, the parents are harder, way harder. But to all of the parents that I've had who've helped me, who've supported me in being a coach, because without that parental support, you're not going to get through to the athletes. There's no way you're going to do that. And to all of the skiers over the years, I mean, I'm almost 50 years in this sport, and those kids still listen to my stupid jokes. The same jokes, well, I can't tell the same jokes I told 50 years ago because they're not politically correct. So I can tell some newer ones that are a little bit better, but they still groan and roll their eyes, and so I thank them. And finally, to my wife, Carol, and to my son, Ian, for all their support over the years. Thank you, everybody.
That was amazing. Monsieur Jack Sasseville.
For the next inductee, pour le prochain intronisé. C'est un petit peu personnel parce que je vois une partie de tout son héritage évoluer devant mes yeux à Tremblant. Écoutons la vidéo de Monsieur Conrad Gay.
Conrad Gay, coach, Alpine, entraîneur, Alpin. Conrad Gay's impressive career started first as a ski instructor and then as a racing coach, where his influence impacted an entire generation of champions. Conrad learned to ski on a small ski slope in East End, Montreal, where the Olympic Stadium now stands. He quickly formed a friendship with Bernard Trottier, who later hired Conrad as his assistant director at the Villa Bellevue Ski School in Mont-Tremblant. He taught skiing during the day and returned to his regular job in the evenings as a firefighter in Montreal. En 1969, Conrad a entrepris le rôle de technicien pour les bottes langes et les skis dynamiques et a suivi l'équipe nationale de ski sur le circuit de la Coupe du Monde en Europe. In 1971, Conrad was hired to direct the Manoir Pinoteau Ski School. In 1974, he went on to direct the Mont-Tremblant Ski School, where he remained for the next 15 years. It is during this period that he met his wife Ellen, and together they raised a family. Conrad était examinateur de niveau 4 pour l'AMSC, membre du comité technique national et entraîneur de l'équipe Interski. In the early 1990s, Conrad transitioned to coaching racing first with the Club de Ski Mont-Tremblant, then with the Quebec ski team, and thereafter with the Canadian national team, where he had a profound impact on the development of high-level ski racers. He successfully coached his 3 sons, Christian, Eric, and Stéphane. All reached the national team level. Sadly, on October 7, 2021, the ski community lost Conrad far too soon at 82 years old. He left behind an indelible mark and a legacy that will be held with the highest regard for many years to come.
In honor of Mr. Gay, I should say Coach Ellen Matheson Gay.
Beaucoup, mesdames et messieurs, d'être venus ici ce soir. I will switch to English. I didn't make a speech. But did you see me give the mom eye to my boys that you have to come up here with me? Conrad, he just loved skiing. But it takes more than, just loving something by yourself. You have to have a team around you, which he found at Tremblant when he started skiing there, when he started being the ski school director there. He had an amazing gang of young instructors who were so keen, and he was able to pursue his passion of, what can we do to make it faster, to make it better, to make it more perfect. And I think he instilled in his instructors, in his racers later on, not only to strive to be excellent, but to search within themselves, to try to coach themselves, to try to look for things themselves. And I'm hoping that's what he gave. I'd like to say thank you very much to the Canadian Ski Museum for this induction. That if Conrad was here, he would have said thank you very much. He'd be very humble. He'd already be back in his seat. Thank you to Diane and the others for nominating him. And I have to say that there's a thread between everyone here, everyone who loves skiing. And I feel it in my heart. Thank you so much.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, the Gay family.
Il nous reste deux présentations spéciales qui vont être remises. Enfin, on va décerner le trophée John Simmelink Award qui est remis aux différents athlètes canadiens qui représentent particulièrement bien la nation et eux-mêmes lors de compétitions et de voyages internationaux.
The John Simmelink Memorial Award is known as the Canadian Snow Sport Athlete of the Year Award, presented annually by the Canadian Snow Sports Association to the Canadian athlete who, through leadership, conduct, and ability to best represent Canada in international competition. It is considered the highest honor in Canadian snow sports. Prix commémoratif John Simmelink 2023 de l'ACSH. Le prix commémoratif John Simmelink est connu sous le nom de Prix de l'athlète canadien de l'année pour les sports d'hiver. Il est décerné chaque année par l'Association canadienne des sports d'hiver à l'athlète canadien qui, par son leadership, sa conduite et ses aptitudes, représente le mieux le Canada dans les compétitions internationales. This award was first presented in 1962 to Anne Hegdevite. The award was named in memory of H. John Simmelink, who was fatally injured on course while representing Canada in the FIS Alpberg-Kandahar races on February 7, 1959, in Garmisch, Germany. Ce prix est considéré comme la plus haute distinction dans les sports d'hiver canadiens. Il a été décerné pour la première fois en 1962 à Anne Hegdevite. Le prix est nommé en mémoire de H. John Simmelink, qui a été mortellement blessé en piste alors qu'il représentait le Canada aux courses FIS Alpberg-Kandahar le 7 février 1959 à Garmisch, en Allemagne. Laurence Saint-Germain is the first Canadian woman in 60 years to win a gold at a World Championship with her first place result at the 2023 Alpine World Ski Championships in Méribel, France. The last winner was Anne Hegdevite in 1960. Laurence was a two-time Olympian, 2018 and 2022, and a two-time World Championship competitor, 2019-2023. Along with being a world champion, she has 15 top 10 World Cup finishes. Laurence Saint-Germain, qui s'est hissée au plus haut rang des championnats du monde de ski alpin en 2023 à Méribel, France, est la première Canadienne en 60 ans à remporter une médaille d'or aux championnats du monde. La dernière gagnante a été Anne Hegdevite en 1960. Laurence a participé 2 fois aux Jeux olympiques en 2018 et 2022 et 2 fois aux championnats du monde en 2019 et 2023. En plus d'avoir été sacrée championne du monde, elle s'est classée 15 fois dans les 10 premières en Coupe du monde.
Alors, you will probably understand considering the World Cup coming up. But all that to say, she is in training right now, and we would ask 2 people. Peter Judge, representing the Canadian Snow Sports Association, if you would please join us on stage to present the award to Monsieur Larry Nardone. Larry Nardone is actually Laurence's uncle.
This comes as a surprise, une vraie surprise. Oui, je suis son oncle. Un oncle parce que j'ai marié sa tante. Hein? Puis j'ai connu Laurence. I knew Laurence and her brother William, who was also racing, came back to ski racing. And I knew them when they were 2 years old, 3 years old. And I have to say something because my background is Italian. And you know that when you say grandfather in Italian, it's nonno. So when I, would say to them, says, I had a person that I used to love very much, and he was my grandfather. And I used to call him nonno. So they always said to me, c'était ton nono? So I said, yes, he was my nono. But anyway, on behalf of Laurence, I will not be seeing her, unfortunately, soon because I have to go to Europe to work on different equipment. But I will be speaking to her, seeing her dad. But on behalf of Laurence, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And it caught me by surprise. Thank you. Merci.
Mesdames et messieurs, le prochain prix, John Simmelink. Écoutons.
Alexandria Lutet made history at the 2022 Beijing Olympic Games when she and her 3 teammates won bronze in the inaugural mixed ski jump event. In January 2023, Alexandria became the first Canadian to win a fist jumping World Cup on a normal hill in Zhao, Japan. 3 weeks later, she became Canada's first ever world champion in ski jumping when she won the women's large hill event at the FIS Nordic World Ski Championship in Planica, Slovenia. Alexandria Lutet a marqué l'histoire des Jeux olympiques de Beijing en 2022 en remportant avec ses 3 coéquipières la médaille de bronze de l'épreuve inaugurale de saut en ski mixte. En janvier 2023, Alexandria est devenue la première Canadienne à remporter une Coupe du monde de saut FIS sur un tremplin normal à Zhao, au Japon. 3 semaines plus tard, elle est devenue la première championne du monde canadienne de saut en ski en remportant l'épreuve féminine de grand tremplin au championnat du monde de ski nordique de la FIS à Planica, en Slovénie.
She is with us tonight. Elle est avec nous ce soir, Madame Alexandria Lutet.
Don't have very much prepared. This was an impulse decision to be here. My World Cup starts in 2 weeks-ish, and I was on a training camp in Garmisch, and my coaches told me, well, if you want to go, you can. So that was 6 days ago. So thank you to everyone who made it possible for me to be here. Especially Jane. We spent a couple hours on the phone trying to sort things out, but I'm sure you can imagine it was difficult. She was in her car on the phone with me, so I really appreciate her taking the time for me to be able to be here. And I'd also like to show my appreciation for having my name on such an admirable list, not just some of the greatest Canadian snow sports athletes, but greatest Canadian athletes of all time. So thank you.
Alors, pendant qu'Alexandra prend sa photo finale, eh bien, je viens probablement de m'auto-flageller parce que j'ai oublié, dans toute l'émotion des différentes remises de trophées, alors j'ai oublié le dernier nominé, qui était la 10e personne, pour recevoir donc sa nomination. With all the emotion carried by all the inductees tonight, I forgot one special person, and we'll do it right now, at least to show the video. Unfortunately, that person cannot be with us tonight, but obviously, as all the inductees, had played an important role in the world of skiing. Alors, mesdames et messieurs, s'il vous plaît, regardons, pour terminer cette soirée, le vidéo de Monsieur Alain Masson.
Alain Masson, cross-country, coach, entraîneur, ski de fond. As a former Olympian in cycling and 2-time Olympian in cross-country skiing, Alain Masson was able to transfer his winning knowledge to his athletes as he moved into coaching. Alain's coaching career in cross-country skiing started in the Yukon in 1995, but it was in his youth in Laval, Quebec, when he discovered an eternal desire to compete at the highest level in sport. Determination and self-confidence were attributes that he carried forward throughout his coaching career. Alain served as a wax technician for 5 years in the national ski team, including 5 Olympics and multiple world championships. He worked with some of Canada's greatest skiers. Il a travaillé avec certains des plus grands fondeurs et fondeuses au pays, Eddie Scott, Devin Kershaw, Alex Harvey, Sarah Renner et Chandra Crawford. Les compétences qu'il a acquises au cours de sa carrière profiteront plus tard à ses athlètes au Yukon. During Alain's time as head coach and sport coordinator in the Yukon, many of his high-performing athletes qualified for the national team. In 2018, at the Pyeongchang Olympics, 3 of the 11 Canadian team members were from the Yukon. At the grassroots level, Alain helped to develop a local racing circuit in and around the Yukon. Every 2 years, he would take skiers to the Arctic Winter Games, a circumpolar-friendly competition for northern and Arctic athletes. Alain stepped down as Yukon head coach in March 2023. He has returned to the national team as a wax technician. Alain vit toujours à Whitehorse avec sa famille.
Hi, my name is Alain Masson, and I'm in Whitehorse in the Yukon. I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who contributed to the induction into the Ski Hall of Fame. It's a huge honor, and which I will share with the Yukon ski community, as they contributed hugely to the successes of Yukon skiers over the many years. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my spouse, Lucy, as well as both of my kids, Sasha and Felix, for all their support. It's a huge honor, and again, thank you very much, everybody, for this nomination. It's a huge honor for me. Thank you.
Well, Simon, you know that right after that you name the different sponsors that make this event possible, I'm gonna have to have a special meeting with Jane for my mistake. So it was nice to meet you.
It was nice knowing you, Jean-Luc. I appreciated the time indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, comme vous avez pu voir, there was many inductees and so many beautiful moments tonight. It's been a true honor. But again, let's just remind ourselves of how this became possible through the listing of our sponsors. And of course, congratulations to all the new honored members of the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame. Thank you very much again to Mackenzie Investment, Snow Sports Association, Sport Dynaco, Caroline Charon et Fils, Minogue Medical, Israel Benoki and all of his production, who have been amazing from day one, and also that very special woman that brought us all here today, that congratulator. Jane, thank you so much for being you. Merci à toi. Thank you to the Hall of Fame. Thank you to all of you. Merci à toi, Jean-Luc. C'était vraiment un honneur de participer avec toi et d'en apprendre autant.
Grand plaisir et merci à vous tous de vous être déplacés de très loin et en aussi grand nombre. Et c'est un rendez-vous l'année prochaine.
Merci.
Bonne soirée.
Picture places and capture the essence of skiing and snowboarding as emblematic winter experiences. Imagine winter playgrounds that exemplify who we are as Canadians, preserving the rich history and culture significance of snow sports in Canada. The Canadian Ski Hall of Fame celebrates and enhances the awareness of its snow sports tradition and accomplishments, our past, our present, and future. We highlight the impact of snow sports have on Canadian lives. We honor the pioneers and legends that made these sports great by sharing their history for future generations. We commemorate outstanding individuals who have reached the pinnacle of success, individuals that have significantly contributed to the advancement of our snow sports in Canada. We pay tributes to their competitive skills for obsession and perfection, their forward-thinking vision and exceptional leadership. But most importantly, we tell the stories that have changed the course of skiing and snowboarding history. These are not just sports. They are a way of life for Canadians. Inspire future generations to go further, faster, higher. Become a part of the story.